Just let me know if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Let's see if I can get my chat on, live phone messages. How you guys doing? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I got a lapel mic on. I want to see if it works. All right, Carbon Heart, how you doing? Can you guys hear me? I have this lapel mic on. I just want to see if it's working. It's supposed to be Bluetooth. Fine? Okay, cool. Very cool. Just waiting for a couple people to sign in. Just making my preparations. All right. All right, guys. So happy Halloween Eve. All the way from Sweden. Thanks, brother. That's definitely a long way. That's definitely a long way. I appreciate it. Um, Happy Halloween Eve. All right. So Halloween Eve is I don't know if you guys celebrate in Sweden, but I know everybody's busy, so there's not going to be a lot of folks online. But I figured I'd do it anyway. Kydex Sheath, my knife. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, if you guys have watched all the live feeds before, what I'm doing is I'm taking this knife, the one that I just created. If you watched all the live feeds or the podcast before, what I'm doing is I'm now making a Kydex sheath for it. Very simply, all you have to do is just tape up here, just as close to as possible. Try not to over tape over this. I usually do like 2 layers of painter's tape. You could do 1 layer if you like. It just depends on how much distance in between the sheath that you prefer. All right. So this knife is already made. It's ready to go. Now I'm going to make a Kydex sheath for it. Kydex I use is typically 0.80. I think that's the proper way to do it. And I heat it up on a platter heater. I don't know. So it's just a tray heater. So typically one of the ones for like if you went to a dining hall or something like that, they would have the tray heaters. So I use that. You could also use anything inside of toaster oven or something like that. You kind of want to get it around 200, 250 degrees. Don't leave it in there too long or else the Kydex will melt. You don't want it to melt. You just want it nice and floppy. So as I'm talking, I'm going to put it up on there. And I'm also going to wear my gloves because it does get pretty hot. I just have my 2 foam pads. This I got from Knife Kits. It's a knife press. It's pretty solid steel, but you can make them yourself. You don't have to buy them from Knife Kits. I also have my C-clamps. My C-clamps, what I'm going to be using to pull it down. My belt attachment, I typically use the Tech Lock. That's what the customer requested, so I use a Tech Lock. I don't make these. I have to buy these, so I just add that into the price. And of course, all the screws and bolts and Chicago screws and all that stuff, I have to buy it all myself. Okay, so again, just put that into the cost. All right. So while that heats up, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just heat up a little bit of the padding and a little bit of the knife. This way everything's not cold, hot, cold, hot. And all this stuff you can get on Knife Kits, all of it. Okay, just gonna check on my Kydex, see how hot that's getting. So I also have on the website, I have a guy that does leather, Harper Leathers. So if you got a knife from me and you wanted a leather sheath as opposed to Kydex, I don't do the leather. You can go to him. He's a good dude. He's also a veteran. He's an Army veteran, and he does other leather products. So it's not just knife sheaths, but if you really wanted to, you can do that. So I'm not really sure, but wherever you guys are from, let me know if it's raining. It's been pouring for like the last 2 to 3 days. I mean, cold, nasty rain. And I know there's a hurricane somewhere, I think on the East Coast, or was on the East Coast or South or something like that. And it's just been nasty, nasty, nasty cold rain, nasty cold rain. So, you know, while I got a few minutes, I'm going to try to put this knife together and do the sheath and all that good stuff. And then we'll get it out to its customer. I know there's a lot of customers. There might be customers, one of you guys are customers. Typically, anywhere from 8 to 24 weeks is my turnaround time. And I know that seems like a lot because we live in a world where Amazon can deliver things by drones, but I'm not Amazon. I'm a one-man shop. This is my secondary job. I have a primary job, mortgage, family, all that good stuff. So I do this on the side to help support the family. And also, I like to make art, and that's basically what it is to me. If you are an aspiring knife maker, understand that anything that you make or anything that you put your name on is going to be in that person's family probably for the rest of their lives. So I think that's important to understand. That's something that you make out of your own shop, garage, basement, whatever the hell it is going to be in that person's family. Now, people do sell them, whatever, etc. But if you get good at it, or you're good enough at it, you can make a little bit of a living doing it. So, speaking of which, if you look down below in the little chat, you'll see a little $sign down there. You don't have to, but if you wanted to give some money, you could. And I think there's a little bit of an icon down there too, like a paid emoji for like $1 or something like that. You don't have to. I just figured I'd mention it because not everybody knows it's there. I think they call it a super chat. All right, so you see that piece of Kydex, nice and flimsy now. So what I like to do, you know what? I'm gonna make it a little more hot. I want it hotter. What I like to do is, I just want to make sure that's a little hotter. So the way this works is it works on a pivot, so it's sort of like a press. So it's down like this, okay? That's the way this press works. I don't know if I could bring it down just a little bit so you guys can see it. So here's the press. Okay, you can see it. So I'll line up the knife like this, and then I'll fold it over this way. Okay, that's how I like to do it. You could do blade forward if you like, but I just feel that this back of the spine and the roundness of the Kydex, sort of like what they call a taco, makes it a little bit easier. Okay. All right, that's what I want, nice and flex. And I have done this before without gloves, and I can tell you it is not very comfortable. You will burn the crap out of your hands. I don't like doing it that way. And because you have to hold everything in place while you get the sheet in, and hopefully your knife didn't move. And then I'm going to clamp it in here, leave it for a couple. Try to get a nice good seal on there. Make sure it's nice and tight. All right, hopefully it didn't move. What are you guys doing for Halloween? Do you guys celebrate Halloween? You guys celebrate in Sweden? That's awesome. That's awesome. What do you guys do for Halloween? Do you do what we do? You go around and knock on strangers' door and ask for money? No, ask for candy. Sort of. Yeah, we do the pumpkin carving. That's today and tomorrow. Make the jack-o'-lanterns. Then the kids go tomorrow during the day, and then at night we have like a little Halloween party. So. Going to church, kids candy. Is that? Gotcha. Yeah, we've been having a really rough go at it over here in the U.S. with the elections and everything. People are just losing their damn minds. So it's not very festive. Just want to give it a couple minutes. Also, guys, if you have not checked out, do the Patreon thing. I don't know how long YouTube's going to stick around. I know YouTube's been around for a while, but they seem to demonetize all the videos. I don't know. I don't even know what their list of things that you shouldn't do as opposed to what you do on YouTube is beyond me. So I just go ahead and make the videos that I think people would like to watch, and of course, the live feed is something new that I'm trying out. I think it gives a little bit more interaction. So if you guys have any questions, please ask. All right, so you know, typically on Friday night, well, it's Friday night here in the States, but typically Friday night people are out already. It's only like, yeah, it's 5 p.m. here, so. All right, so pretty good definition. I'm happy with that. It seemed to have gone well. Just giving it a little more padding. So I don't know if you can see that. It's a pretty decent definition. All right, it's not too crooked. A lot of times what happens is the material that I use for the padding gets chewed up over time. So what I'll do is I'll just replace it. Just get like a whole sheet. You can go to knifekits.com, get a whole sheet. But for now, it seems to be working. I just want to make sure there's no rolls, no divots, no weirdness going on here. It looks pretty good. All right, so what I'm going to do is, I think most people are right-handed. The customer is right-handed. So what I'm going to do is try to match up my tech lock to the knife itself. But I have to make sure that these three holes right here, I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, these three holes right here are not touching this blade. And I kind of want to do it in a very as straight as possible. Okay, you don't want it in a cant or like that. You just kind of want to do it as straight as possible. And the simplest way I figured out how to do it was just to line it up by eye and use a mechanical pencil. That's that simple. Put the holes where you want them. You can take the gloves off now. Make sure it looks good. Make sure it looks pretty even. Make sure it's all the way up to the top. The tech locks aren't that bad. They typically run between $15 and $20. You can get them in bulk. There are cheaper tech locks that do not say tech lock on them, but I like to buy the real ones. The Blade Tech locks are the original vendors, and it has this little symbol up here. That's how you know, and it also says their name in there too. These seem to be the strongest. All right, so I recommend those. Turn this off. Then what I'm going to do, okay, now that I made my marks, there you can see why it's so dark. So I get the mark, and then I'm just going to use the drill and then drill them out. Pretty simple. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off all the excess here and here. All right, what you should know about Kydex is that Kydex is the way the Kydex work is it doesn't use the blade to hold on to it. What it does is it uses the handle. Okay, so make sure you don't take too much off the handle. All right. Drop it. Live action. Trying to get a little better. Just need a little bit more. There you go. All right, looks a little bit more like a knife sheath. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, it's sticking together a little bit. That's why you saw me change the blade. I'm sorry, change the belts, because some of those belts are pretty old. So now it's more about just refining. So all I'm going to do is keep refining this edge. I don't want all these big scratches. That's a 36 grit belt, okay? Oops, sorry. Let's see. I've been following YouTube since a very long time. Thanks for all the help. You're welcome, Cameron. So that's really what I'm doing here. All right. If you, like I said, guys, if you have any questions, just put the comments in the chat. You guys can talk back and forth to each other. As I run the equipment, you're gonna have to lower your volume. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. It's the nature of it. Okay. So. All right, so now comes the fun part. All the cleaning and all the other good stuff. So all right, good. I'm sorry, I have to constantly check the comments because it doesn't feed up there all the time. So all I'm really doing is just cleaning up any of the inside stuff that I can, all the edges, just taking a razor knife. I hope you guys are all having a good Halloween Eve. I think some of my neighbors are already freaking out. Can you guys hear that? Man. I need to move out of this neighborhood. All right, so like I said before, really what's going on is this handle piece, this little piece right here is really what holds the knife in. And that goes along for if you're making holsters as well. Typically the trigger guard is what's going to hold in that gun. I think you guys have got good service, right? I'm pretty good. I think I got good service. And then the long, arduous task of hand sanding. I use 220 grit. You can use whatever grit you like. 220 grit seems to be about where I want to be. I'm not trying to get a high gloss. I know there's a lot of people that do. You can take it as high as you want. I'm just trying to make it a little bit uniform and get rid of any burrs, any type of burn marks, all that kind of stuff, because the next thing I'm going to do once I put this together is I'm going to buff out the sides or buff the edges. And I just want to thank all you guys for tuning in. I know everybody's busy. It is the eve of Halloween. I know people are doing a lot of pumpkin carving. They have all kinds of stuff they got to do. People are doing stuff with the family. I have to do stuff with the family as well. So I just wanted to finish this up. Also, yesterday I wasn't able to do a live cast or a podcast. So this is probably going to be the last one for this blade. And then I'm going hunting for 2 weeks. So I'll be away hunting for a while. I don't know, any of you guys hunt? Any of you guys? Let me know, just put it in the comments. But for me, it's sort of like a winter vacation to go hunting. You know, a lot of people take the summers off, and with children, I get it, and all that stuff. But for me, it's really nice. You can get away from work and stress, kind of disappear in the forest for a little bit. Let me know if you guys, I got this lapel mic. That's what this thing is. It's a Bluetooth lapel mic. I'm testing it out. Also, let me know if it's working pretty well. I know if you guys can hear me. So there's some deep grooves in here I'm really trying to get out, just to make it look uniform. I know there's some knife companies out there that actually sell their knives without actually doing the sheaths, or they sub it out. I am not one of those. If you're going to sell a knife, you got to sell the sheath to go with it. Otherwise, what's the point? Unless it's a chef knife that you're going to keep it in your drawer, or just make a chef block so those guys can safely hold on to their knives, or safely store their knives. Get my air gun. Get another piece. Just want to see if I can see. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. This is really super boring. I apologize, but it's almost done. Is there anybody on there that actually purchased the knife from me? Anything you guys want to see? So I did manage to get my setup. So I have like this stand that's actually a lot better. Before I was using like some type of shooting sticks and some zip ties just to put that camera up there. And it was really, I mean, it worked the first couple of podcasts. It wasn't awesome, but it worked. All right. Blow this up. All right. So let's see. All right. So now what I usually use is this is rouge, I guess they call it, or they call it wax or whatever it is. The white stuff I use for the plastic, the black stuff I use for the steel. And then I have my Dremel. All right. I keep it on a lower speed with a little buffing wheel. See that little tiny buffing wheel? And then all I'm doing is just going along the edges to try to smooth those edges out. Now, if you have a big buffing wheel, it makes it quicker. But when you try to get in between here and around on the side, it just doesn't work out. So I try to do the best I can with what I got. This is also how you make holsters as well. So if you guys are looking into making Kydex holsters, it's the same exact setup. If you guys haven't had a chance, go to Three River Kydex. Check out my holsters that I have up there. So you kind of don't want to leave the buffing wheel in one spot for too long, because then you start to put little divots in it, little burns. And then the Kydex looks really looks crappy. So you want to always keep moving it. Make sure you're wearing your eye protection, all that good stuff. All right. So I'm going to give this a quick rinse. I'll be right back in like five seconds. All right. I don't have a sink in here, but I'm just going to get all this white stuff off. I'll be right back. You guys probably still should be able to hear me. All right, that wasn't so bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tape off here. And when you take the tape off the knife, actually I did a little bit more work on this knife. I sharpened it, so I got to be super careful not to hurt myself. Easier said than done. You can actually use some Battle Stall, all right, to clean your knife and to clean your Kydex. Don't use anything else like WD-40. This stuff works on plastic. It actually has to say, you know, safe on plastic, that kind of thing. So Battle Stall seems to work good. So what I do is I just do a little bit, and then I go around the sides and around the edges. And what that does is any of that wax that's left over, it cleans it up pretty good. So, and then I just use a nice rag to clean it up. Trying to get all the anything that might have fell in there. Plus it gives it like a little brandishing, little cleaner look. It cleans the Kydex pretty good. If you're not familiar, a lot of the Kydex actually has like little divots or little scaly skin in it, and that's where all that wax seems to like build up in there. So it doesn't look good if you're trying to sell a product. Battle Stall pretty much gets rid of it. All right, and then I'm going to spray the knife with a little bit of Battle Stall as well, because any of that painter's tape residue, I want to get that off of there. I don't want anything to stick. Okay. That's good. I'm just doing a little dry fit. That's all I'm doing. Okay. All right. So I'm at the point where I think I'm good as far as the knife fitment. Sometimes you got to do a little bit extra afterwards. This happened to work out pretty good. So the thing you got to realize is that if you're putting in your grommets, all right, if I'm right-handed, which I am, you want the large hat size to go into the, I don't know how else to say it, or the head into the outside of that pouch. Okay, like and your knife is outside where everybody can see it. When you slam the grommet down, they usually split, and if they split, it's going to look like crap. Okay, so try to put them on the side. If you had a cross draw or a left hand or something like that, that's fine if you're going to cover those holes. But if you are a right-handed person, which or if you're going to carry it on the right side, you can do it that way. And also I put a little bit of I put one down at the bottom as well. All right, that's just to keep the Kydex uniform, okay, nice and tight. All right, pretty good. So what I'm doing here is, as you can see, testing it, just making sure it doesn't fall out. All right, it's pretty good. I don't want it too tight to where it's scratching. All right, I don't want it too tight to where it's scratching, but I want it to have some type of rigidity. Okay, so it seems to be a good fit. Okay. And then if it's too loose and it falls out, then you got to make it tighter. If it's too tight that you can't yank it, then you got to make it a little looser. All right. So what I'm going to do now is this little burr is like bothering the hell out of me. Let me get rid of that. There you go. There you go. All right. Nice. So what I got is my tech lock. I already made the holes for it. You're going to need your screws, your rubber washers. I buy these in bulk. I mean like 500 to 1,000 at a time. All right, these are the 1/8. They have them in quarter. They have them in 1/2 inch. All right, the 1/8 are the ones that typically you use with this. The reason that I go with the tech locks is because this is normally how it would go. Okay, normally you'd put the holes in here. If you wanted to reverse it, you can put it on this side and make it a left-hand carry. If you wanted to make it a horizontal carry, you could put it like that. And then it has 3 holes on top, and then you could adjust it as necessary. And I noticed some guys that want to do some kind of weird, I think they do like a scout but halfway carry, like, so you can do some weird stuff like that if you wanted to, as long as you get 2 holes out of the 3 in there, it's pretty strong. So all I'm going to do is line it up nice and tight. All right, I gotta get more. Get my 3 screws. That's too long. Also, like I said, buy the screws in bulk too. I think they call these the oxide pan heads. Whatever you like. It's not like it's one size fits all. If you go to knife kits, there's a million different screws and all kinds of weird stuff. They even have those nice little washers that I don't, it's just a lot of stuff. You decide what you want to use and then use that. Okay. So what I use is the 1/8 little tiny screw. I don't know if you can even see that. It's tiny. I use those. And then I use the 1/2 inch. And then you use them in conjunction or as you think they work. It's pretty good. They all work the same. I have a whole bunch of screws that I've went through and I tried to make the best of it, but it doesn't matter. As long as it looks nice on the finished product, people are mostly happy. Okay, this is the toughest part, lining up all these holes and then getting the screws to fit. The screw might not be long enough. You might need the longer ones. Let's see. All right, so that's good. Yep, that's what I needed. I needed the longer ones. And then I always put the rubber washers in there because you're going to need some type of flex. If you're wearing this knife is kind of designed to be close to the body. I don't make danglers. There are people that make danglers for Kydex. You can go to knife kits and design your sheath around a dangler. There are guys that solely only make Kydex sheets. All right, I'm just making it as an add-on, so when you carry this knife into the woods, you don't cut yourself. It's a utility for me. There's businesses solely devoted to making Kydex sheets, Kydex holsters, all that good stuff. So I just make sure it's in there pretty good, and then again, just to make sure that it's a little uniform, just have all the screw heads and bolts look the way they're supposed to. Test the fitment of the knife. Oh, that's it. All right, that's it. She's done. And then, of course, on this Kydex, I'm sorry, on the these two bars right here, you can pull them off depending on your belt size. So you can pull those off if you want. You can, depending on what size belt. It's usually set up for 1.5. All right. So it fits in, kind of nice. Doesn't fall out. Now the only thing I'm going to do here from this is just package it. I usually do like a do-rag, but it's a nice handkerchief or do-rag, whatever you want to call it. It's like a nice 12 by 12, has 3 river blades on there. I also have the certificate of authenticity. I'm also going to do a little red lanyard hole, as I have the little red lanyard I'll put on there. And, you know, a couple little odds and ends and a little bit of swag and some business cards. That's all I'm doing. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm just going to finish this knife up and get it out to its customer. I really wanted to say thank you very much, guys, for following the process. I know it's a little bit difficult with the machines running and the Wi-Fi and all that other good stuff. And I still haven't gotten everything down as far as, you know, how all the technology works. But I am trying my best. So if you have any questions, just put them up there. You know, please let me know as I start cleaning up. If you think that these videos are helpful, you think that you might want to see more of these videos, or you really could care less, you just want to see me chatting, that's fine too. All right, so like I said, guys, I'm not going to be around for a couple weeks. I'm going to go into the woods. Hopefully I'll get a deer. I'll probably be filming it, so it should make some nice footage. If you guys like those videos as well, please let me know. You know, I'm more of a conservationist. I don't like to go out to the woods and just kill anything. I want to make sure that I'm getting the right deer, the right size, the right sex, all that good stuff. So, you know, me and my family, we eat venison. If I can get a bear, I'll get a bear because I'll eat it too. But it's always fun for me to go out into the woods, relax, take a load off, all that good stuff. So I'm a big fan of that. If I haven't already said so, please go to 3riverblades.com. Check out all the knives like this that you've seen up there. Plenty of knives. I have plenty of stock. If you guys are interested in any knives, you can drop me an email. 3 River Kydex is where I make Kydex holsters. I made a few of them this evening. They need to be cut out. Okay, so I'm press forming them and then I'm cutting them as well. Go to Patreon. Check out Patreon. Also the Amazon store. Anything that you buy from the Amazon store, I get like 20 cents for, all that great stuff. So thank you very much, guys. Please stay safe. Also, it's happy Halloween. If you guys celebrate it, great, awesome. Just be safe out there. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Talk to you soon.